Salute and thank you, NERDSoul. Yeah, lay ill kid at OneYoungsta. You know what? Look, skip the intro, y'all. We ain't gotta worry. Look, it's Castlevania. Alright. It's dope. It's vampires. They getting killed. Ain't no life lessons going on. Don't worry about all that. We ain't recasting nobody. Everybody back. You ain't gotta wait 10, 12 years for no director to be attached. No writing to go on. This ain't that. Alright. This is hard hitting. Ain't no playing. Top quality anime. All the voice actors coming back. You ain't gotta worry about people don't know how to write a story, don't know how to figure out the main character. The Belmonts is here and doing their thing. And we ain't by ourselves. Nah, nah, nah. You best believe that. Ha ha. We got first up, alright, the Kunoichi of the year, Ninja Summer Cosplay. What's up? Say what's up to the people.
Good morning, good evening, good night. It's Ninja Summer Cosplay coming to you live from the boat. Because we got to get up out of here and do what the new world needs to do.
Yo, man, sometimes you got to get on that boat. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, got it. Look, there's a fight here and all that, and I did that and that one. Now I got to go handle the real fight, and that's this racism.
Man, look, we got things to do. You know what I'm saying? We can't
Back on
just
the home front.
Yeah, look, we got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? We done solved the problem. Hopefully.
You know it's bad when the vampires is bad, but what we got going on is worse. And I'm gonna take my newfound power and go apply it to the real world, to the new world, to the Americas.
She ain't lying. All right, now, also, Mark Dub, say what's up to the people.
Hola, my people. It is Mark Dub. He who is half man, heart amazing, spicing like that Creole, not that Cajun. And I am a poet.
Oh man, I'd never know it. You know what I'm saying? No man, I ain't even know it. I was like, hold on. He said, what? He out there doing a poetry? Oh snap!
I had a good night.
You got footage, right?
I think there is footage.
All right, word. You know what
I did not win,
saying.
but I was amazing nonetheless, and I accomplished goals. I got goals accomplished, and I enjoyed the vania of the castles.
Last but not least, Coop of Blurnish. What's up?
It is so good to come talk about this special thing maybe every other year or every year. Probably one of the best adaptations of any lore out there to be found.
Man, look, they out here doing it. So I'm gonna throw it. You know what? I'm gonna just throw it. We're gonna talk about everything. Look, of course, this is spoilers. Don't act like y'all ain't know. You know what I'm saying? We talking about the show. It's out, y'all seen it. Y'all know the deal. So I'm gonna throw it out to the Kunoichi of the year first. Ninja, what you want to talk about? What you want to talk about? What's going to be our first topic on the show?
If I could pick, I think we should probably just go ahead and dive straight on into the animation.
And dive in.
Yeah, let's go straight into that. We did, because the story and the plot and stuff got its nooks and crannies. So I'm gonna say the animation was great, fantastic. With the Castlevania team, I actually think this is a chunk of it is an American team. I think they did Blood of Zeus as well, and of course the OG Castlevania. Great, outstanding job, fantastic. The hand-to-hand is, which, we've been on that in the animation scene for, I would say, better of 5 years or so now, where that's been kind of really appreciated. So I appreciate seeing that with magical elements, like instead of, we got pause, what we doing, throwing stuff to her, and of course, like big boss battles. It was great seeing all that. So I think that's all fantastic. You could tell more than one studio had their hands on this. And I don't necessarily mean that as a slight, but you can almost tell when the budget kicked in. Like, it would be like they were talking. It's like I was watching with my boyfriend, and I was like, you could see Richter's whole face change. Like, it's very it's giving a Naruto studio period. And you could tell when the A team came in, was like, nah, we gotta animate this fight. Like, I was like, they look different. It looked actually more like anime when they would fight. Like, it looked more.
She said Richter was like, budget activate.
Yeah, it's like in one of those last fights or whatever. Not getting into all that because I know we'll talk about it. It's like you could see the animation.
I think I know what you're talking
It
about because
literally like the lines on his face and
they
every character changed. What's her name? What's her
they gave them more angles.
like
They were looking
Maria's
up,
eyes get more
down.
Yep.
You can
doish.
see
Yeah,
everything. You can see
everything
all their
like
face.
changes. It's almost like I almost wish they zoomed and went like 16:9 or something. I almost wish that they brought them black bars down like
Oh snap!
we about to go. Like I almost wish like they
You
made it
know what? That
obvious.
would be dope if in fight scenes it
Yeah.
was just like, up, it's letterbox. Yo, it's about to
That
get
being
real.
said, it was so astronomically good. Like I'm like, I say that as and it sounds like it would be a complaint. It's not. It's just no, it's about to be a treat. So the animation was fantastic as far as that goes. Voice acting was good. They tried to stay authentic, at least with the accents and stuff, which of course we know from the Castlevania animated franchise that that's what they try to do, at least, try to emulate those different accents and whatnot. So yeah, the world building was good. Animation, I'm doing a broad thing because I know we're gonna get into the plot. So yeah, animation dope.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, they opened up the show, letting you know they let you know they back, opening it up. All the
Bruh.
fights is clear.
In,
Like
in, in the
they
group
let you
in the
know
group chat,
they know what they're doing.
in the group chat, shout out to Gamma. Gamma was like, Egyptian vampires?
Yep.
Like, yes. That's how
Here,
that opening
exactly.
scene with Alucard,
Hmm.
man, I was like, this is how you open up season 2.
I don't
I
know if
mean,
y'all are vampire nerds, but vampirism always starts with the crux. It always starts with the motherland. It always starts at Egypt. You look at Anne Rice's stuff. You look across the board. It's always going to be Akasha or some other entity. It always goes down there, and I'm glad that they embraced that. They're like, let's go full melanin,
yeah,
full all the of the earth. We're not going to whitewash it. We're just going to give you
yeah,
all the stuff. It always starts with
actual
yes,
black Egyptians. Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah. You're right. It's not like Moon Knight up in this joint. We got real black people in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? So
You know,
I was just saying. You know what I mean? Look,
Ridley Scott, take note.
I
This
mean,
this makes me feel like singing that everybody take a stand, join the
Well,
caravan
I don't know
of
if it was a lot of love. I
blood,
don't know if it was a lot of love. Yeah, it was blood though.
of blood.
Yeah.
well, I mean,
Yeah,
there
that
was love
opening
in
scene,
this, but there was a whole lot of blood
the
too.
man, the opening scene was, this is much less opening a sequel to a season of a show. That's how you open up a movie almost. That's how you
Yeah.
open up
No,
the hero's return. That's how you
Yep.
open up something to show how important a character is to a lore. And I appreciate that. I'm gonna go into that because lore with Castlevania is just important. But that's just how you show who is a main person. So
Scoop,
Yeah.
I had a time where I was kind of lukewarm on it. This
really,
that
I
opening
don't.
scene grabbed me by the shirt and was like, "You still lukewarm, boy?"
I don't know
And
I don't
the
know why
answer
you was
was
ever lukewarm, but
No,
the
no,
yeah.
answer
no.
was
I
a
can get
resounding
lukewarm. I can
no,
get
sir,
lukewarm.
no,
Uh,
sir.
No, Castlevania does have, and I'm once again, yes, I'm lumping in the original and,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
Yeah.
Nocturne, but they both have the same lull because it is dialogue heavy. And when
yeah,
it's dialogue heavy, the animation drops off a little bit. And it's like everyone's voice, even if they have to yell or something, is so soothing and
yes,
so like sensual and subdued. Like I'm like I will. It is inevitable. I'll doze off watching Castlevania, no matter what, Nocturne, whatever. Like at some point, I'm like, wake me up when I feel like I hear buildings
I
crashing.
guess I'm
So
the
it's not a
opposite.
bad thing per se. It's just you have to be alert to be able to pay attention to the conversation and dialogue because
There,
I
it
ain't gonna
does
lie.
lull.
I'll
It
feel you
does lull.
as far as the
It does.
exposition. I'll give you, but like the lows don't bother me because I'm so
Yeah, it's
invested
completely
in
fine.
like I've always loved supernatural action, so
It's
I'm
and
super
for
in. But
me,
I know what you're talking about though.
the lulls pay off with this show because it's like it's not gonna stay nothing. It ain't gonna be no nothing burgers. And I'm the opposite. Not saying that not disagreeing with nothing. Now I admit I had to turn on the subtitles just a little bit just because the accents are so it's varied and the English type of accents
Yeah.
I had to understand a little bit, especially with the priest was talking, the priest and between Maria's mother, I had to turn it off because it
Oh,
was like, all right,
Tara.
I would
yeah,
give it some sort of parallel to like something like Game of Thrones. Yeah, you might watch a Game of Thrones show episode or House of Dragon, and it might be 40 minutes of talking and like 10-15 minutes of like action. It's not that no one needs action back to back like that. It's just like not only they having dialogue, there's relationship building, character building, and there's going to be some type of political undertone a lot with Castlevania. There's times the French Revolution and things
Yeah.
like that, and the New World and slavery. So it's like it's not necessarily heavy per se, but it's just a lot to take in. So if you ain't ate your Wheaties and drank your coffee, sometimes you're kind of like, all right, yeah, if they're talking, I'm processing. So it's not a bad thing at all. It's just
it's heavy, it's heavy.
I
It
actually
takes
don't
it
mind
takes.
dozing off to it because it's almost like peaceful. I'm like, they just
Oh,
all sound so learned.
Well,
I'll say
I'll
this.
talk about one character. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it to agree with Ninja. I love the voices. However you want to take that. Oh yeah, the voices are beautiful.
Yeah, the voices represent, man. And I'll speaking of one of the lulls, I'll go in and start getting into one of the characters now. One of the lulls of season one that of course pay off here is the lull of Orlox. Orlox goes through this lull with Mizrak. With Mizrak, where he's talking about sort of like the new world, in this case, like America, South America, stuff like that, where, he's Aztec, the Spanish showed up and all that stuff. And it's kind of a lull. But it also provides insight into why he ain't feeling Erzsebet
He ain't
at all.
feeling none of them people,
Like, because
and I love it.
he doesn't outright say it, but you can kind of get it from his story. I've already bowed down to those Spanish folks that came through and did whatever to my people and my culture. And after that, once I got the power of a vampire, I promised myself, at least, on the low, that I wouldn't bow to nobody no more. And that's why he had the problem bowing in season one. And even in season two, he was like, I ain't feeling it. I ain't getting no brand. I'm undermining this woman because I don't like, what I'm saying? So it was a lull, but it did provide context into like, okay, this is what. Because at first you're like, yo, he a vampire. Why he ain't down with? He like, no. I don't like nobody want me to come through and submit to nobody.
I would call it a nice a slow burn with a payoff. Because Orlox is just a slow burn of anger. He had a lot of love because he had his I ain't gonna say his piece there, but he had his piece there. He's like, all right, in the meantime, while I'm
I ain't
plotting,
gonna say he had his piece there,
but he had his piece there.
Yeah, and I mean
that dynamic.
I mean, he did. He had this very complicated thing where it's like, I found this dude,
but I love it.
I want to save his life, but he
ain't quite listening.
He's kind of disgusted by me because he sees me with all this power, and I really ain't doing everything I could. But I'm doing everything I can. You know what I'm saying? Because, like he said, I don't fight. I don't, go into battles I can't win. Which I see that side, but then I also see the kind of the soldier heroic part of like, we don't choose the battles we win, or like a fireman. When a fireman gets called out to his house, he don't know, or firewoman, they don't know. They just like, I'm going to try to save this house. That's it.
Complex individual, because he was like, not to, we'll get more into them, but just the fact that he's like, I saw his side of it. He's like, look, even though I was faithful to this, I had maybe my complications a little bit in the faith because I'm dating a vampire, but besides that,
not only is it a vampire, but he's also trying to kill like us right now.
But my boss man turned me. My boss man was such a little traitor and such a liar. Like, I ain't really with you opening up the gates of hell, but if you're gonna do it to wipe these other people out to win the day, to get us back to God, maybe I'm rock with you. But he was like, okay, I've made a mistake. You gotta go. And it's like, I'm gonna rock with you to a point, but bro, you crossing that line. And I'm glad, what happened to him, eventually. But it's like about 3 to 4 people is gonna kill that Abbott.
Bro,
And then I mean,
he was asking for so much, man.
yeah,
But
Oh yeah,
he was really begging for that joint.
like
Like
he,
it,
he
Dabbit
was a
needed to
character,
go.
man.
I mean,
I detested him so much. He ain't redeemable.
I mean, he knew he
gotta
wasn't.
go.
He knew he
gotta
wasn't
go.
redeemable.
He gotta go.
but
Yeah, he had to
back
go.
on Orlox, I'll say, you know, because his character is kind of quick to cover in general, sort of. I really appreciate a character like him because he in the cut on the low. Like, hey, look, this how you kill Erzsebet. Peace out. Like,
Yeah, here's a book, partner.
yo, hit a book.
Orlox, Orlox out.
Yeah, and then in this season, you know, whatchamacallit, Drolta pulls his card a couple times, like, so what have you been doing? And it's interesting because he like, whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me no questions. But it, you know, when the rubber met the road, he had to get that bread, boy. It was rough. I kind of felt bad for him. I was like, dang. But even he was like, look, it'll wear off. I'm a
It was a
vampire. It's gonna
blemish.
heal.
He was mad about it at the time, but then he was like, "This too shall pass."
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like, I'm
like,
too
you know.
old to worry about this.
Yeah,
Like,
he
he'll
was
go.
like, I'm
He
gonna let
is
this
good
ride.
because he is, especially for the vampires, his sense of preservation. At some point, all the other vampire characters, or vampire in lore in general, at some point they're like, you know what? I've been around long enough. Either they burn out, they're like, it's this all or nothing, or at some point they accept their fate. Orlox is, and we see it at the end with what's his name, Mizrag. Like it's like we'll cheat the devil. Like we keep it. We got to keep it moving. You know, I done dealt with the colonizers. I done dealt with all this. I got turned all this stuff. Like and you can too. Like it's like you scared to death. Don't worry about it. We don't have to worry
He's
about
like,
it today.
he's like, you can cheat the devil. He's like, we can do that. But for as far as, well, I can't say his story's ending, but his ending in this season, it was interesting. See, like even you said in season one, like, wow, I'm like teaming up with a Belmont to like I'm
Right.
you know, I'm coming over here with a Belmont to like undermine this chick. Cause on the surface, it should be, you know, it should work. Hey, I'm a vampire, and she'll, you know, she gonna get rid of all the sun. I should be happy. But after hearing that story, you see, oh yeah, he probably had to bow to those Spanish people over and over and
I
over
mean,
again.
he said that.
So once he
pretty
had
much
that power,
this season.
he was probably like, nah, I'm good.
I mean, he pretty much said that I don't care about when he said the line like, it's just another wannabe monarch. I don't really care about them.
Yeah,
I mean, he straight out said it. He was like,
yeah,
you know,
because
I do what I gotta do.
he did talk about like I prefer blue blood, like
Yeah.
basically on some like, hey, look, you know, there's still some of that, you know, disdain for the ruling class, because Drolta was like, we don't feed on the rich people. He's like, why not? He's like,
You better get in those
he's
palaces.
like, I still hate that ruling class mess. So that I like his character for that. Even how he came through at the end with the super, you know, the electricity helping out Alucard. Because homie, look, if you want to call anyone in the cut, it's Orlox.
I'll say this: what I love is that kind of from what I picked up, and we'll talk more about the fights, of course, with Victor and them and that. But I love kind of the rock paper scissors of it, like how Richter couldn't quite beat Erzsebet, or Doltra could mess over Alucard for some reason. Alucard could kind of beat, you know, what's his name, but Orlox had her number. Orlox was not letting Doltra slide. But
No.
Doltra could kind of slide everybody. She couldn't slide him. For some reason, it was like that. It was like a weird triangle of like Texas tornado match.
Yeah, because
Like,
like,
whenever he slid back in the fight,
yeah,
things
because like,
happened.
Alucard had her normal form. When she got to night creature mode, you could see he was struggling with her. But you know,
That's because
Orlox,
Orlox has that
Or-
transformation. He
yeah,
has that
Orlox had
extra-
that dragon form, and she couldn't mess with that electricity. It seemed like Drolta's issue is she couldn't mess with that electricity, boy. She couldn't take that. But but yeah, it man, a character who's a villain who I was like, you know what, he's I guess he's all right with us. Like Orlox, he that dude. Yeah,
Orlox is
he
complex.
kind of
You
he kind of
can't.
I guess I can roll with him for
He
now.
is.
And
He's
a story
just.
that's right and tight is like the Castlevania story. Assuming that this show is also going to have maybe 4 max seasons with the episode length and how quick they are. So even have a character as complex as Orlox, where I won't go as far as say anti-hero, but he has some complexities about him.
Yeah,
And you do see some type of moral compass, or you see something tick in his head. Like that,
I
that's well done. Like you can,
he's.
definitely.
like you don't
I call
need.
him a pragmatic character. He's in his head is in the game. Morals just kind of don't apply. Is what's best for him, kind of what's best for his lover, and what's maybe kind of fair. And
Yeah,
also, like, look, I don't mess with you, blue bloods. I ain't really with all this.
yeah.
Okay, the sun, if it blots out, will be cool, but it's still gonna be
But
just
I
the
ain't bowing to
same
none of
damn
y'all.
thing. It's
And I
gonna be the
like to see
same
I
thing.
like to see
Mhm.
more characters like him as they move forward, because in the first Castlevania you had with the vampire quote unquote sisters and stuff like that, you saw a lot of nuances. They had all of their own different political agenda, their own motivations, and that determined how they went about life. And with these characters, you have that as well. But on the vampire side, it's been for the most part cut and dry. Like, hey,
Mhm.
those guys are not good. Like, with the exception of Alucard, which Alucard is a protagonist.
He our
Like,
boy.
even Maria's mom, you're like, okay, she's up to no good, or at least is influenced by up to no good.
Hmm.
It's good to have a character like Orlox where you're kind of like, all right, is he? Yeah, he's gonna always move for self-preservation, but what else is you know that there's an unknown ticking within him. So I appreciate a character like that in a story that's kind of like kind of cut and dry for the most part.
Side
Word.
note, Orlox looks like a mix of both of the members of Milli Vanilli.
Orlox looks like his voice actor.
Oh,
He
his
looked
voice
like
actor actually
he looked
looks
like
like
he
him.
Also,
That's
about to
funny.
start singing
oh
"I'm in
wow.
Love
If
with
They're
you
You."
like,
see
we're
who
gonna
the
put you in
voice
the
actor
show.
is, you're gonna recognize him.
They'll
So
be
he
like, oh,
has.
we'll
Yes,
just put you in
you
the show.
know it's true.
So he pretty for real,
Oh,
huh?
I love
He hates rich
you.
people. Nah, but, even though he's
But
rich, like he ain't walking around in no rags.
speaking of which, to move on, I
Hmm.
think I want to discuss Doltra and Erzsebet.
All right, now you want to do that first, or you want to wait for that last? I could do either one,
Uh, I don't know. We could do
or I
Richter, we
mean,
could do
right
Annette,
now.
or either or. Whatever y'all want to do.
Um,
But
uh, I
I
guess yeah,
just
we could do Drolta. She's Drolta and Erzsebet. Out before you go, man. The way she punted Erzsebet was hilarious,
absolutely
bro. I rewound that
one of
joint. I
the.
was like, hold on, what?
I look. Even
It
though
was a spit take for me. I was like, hold on, what?
I love Doltra, I hate Doltra. Great character, but good lord, when she give you something, oh, they deliver like get out of
Oh,
here.
also
You
made to
saw
make
it
a
kind of
Ninja
coming.
is correct. He posted a picture of the voice actor in the chat. He looked just like his character.
Oh
wow.
my, let me see. Let me see.
But while you're looking,
Wow, he
Drolta
does.
is a perfect way, absolutely perfect way to take a character that seems one dimensional and one note in the first season and then fill her out in the second season where it's like, ah, so you was kind of like the Abbott of
She
your
really,
day. Like
she
you
really
was kind
was.
of like the Abbott. Like, wow.
And what's so great about the misdirect, that the fact that she turned out to be the big bad of it all, she actually had lost his season. She really had lost until the Abbott brought her back.
Yeah.
Because basically, Alucard won the day. Now that we know
I
all the
like
information presented,
I
Hmm.
like that she was the quote unquote big bad. I'm glad because I'm like at the end of the day, like it's like you can't have the ancient Egyptian spirit like truly be like in Erzsebet like that, like that. Like I love that. It was like, nah, let's have this Black Girl
I,
Magic battle. That was
I
good.
like that too.
They should have did that like at least half an episode earlier, because by the time she drops her and it's like boom, let's go, she doesn't get as much big bad fight time. Like her big bad fight time compared to Erzsebet's is
Oh
kind of like
yeah, you're
third,
right.
fourth
yeah,
act. It's a little. It's not that she's like not as strong. Like she harnesses to the ba and the ka. So it's like it should have like I think that could have been a little longer, just because it's like I know how this power works. I've been centuries running from this, and yeah, this whole time it was me, not you. I wish they had let that be more. I also wish her transformation was slightly more. I love her character design, but her final form was not that much different than the form before that. I wish
Good
that
point.
it
Good point.
I wish it would like lean more maybe into like how Annette's form was. I wish it was
Yo.
because she had two of the three. I wish it was more like boom, locks, Egyptian
Well, maybe
headdress,
they was
something.
like,
Like
look,
if
we
she
done
looked like
already. They were like, we done gave Drolta everything. Come
if
on
she
now,
Yeah, we
looked
done
like
gave her
Homegirl.
3
Nefertiti,
bottles.
if she
man.
looked
Cause
like
look,
Nefertiti or something with bat wings, it would have been on. Like that would have been like I would be like, let's
cause
go.
I ain't gonna front. Like in the first season, when she took the headband off, I was like, y'all know y'all wrong for this. I don't know who was up in
Hey,
here
whoa,
drawing.
whoa, everything
I was
was
like, y'all
right.
know y'all
Don't
wrong for
go.
this.
Hey, everything was right.
Cause it's like, I'm like,
That
I
was
looked at that, I was like, now y'all know good and well,
ain't nothing wrong. That
brother
was
trying to stay,
100% right.
brother out here trying to stay not bit, and
Well,
like,
and you have a
y'all
problem with
doing
that.
wrong.
She gonna be biting a lot of people and then kicking them.
I mean, she is the baddest. She's one of the baddest character designs I've seen in a minute. That's
Bruh,
why
when
I'm saying
she
take
even
her
put her
up one
hand on her hip,
notch.
like she knew, like she knew,
We
she
all
knew,
know.
she knew,
We
she knew
all
what she
know.
was rolling with. She knew good and well. All
Hey
right, she
man,
knew. Like it's one of those things. Like if you were there with Richter or something, be like, bruh, come on.
but like, I know we gotta kill him,
like,
but
like
good
what?
lord.
Like, come on,
But
man.
like, you
Come
know
on,
what?
man.
But like, they gotta give Richter the look, man. Like, hey, bro, just all you gotta do is look. You know, Richter. I know we gotta do our business, but yeah,
Right.
Playboy. But anyway,
But
Hey,
that,
Richter
so I
got a
would,
Richter got a one track mind. All right,
yo,
let
I ain't
let
mad at
him
it
we
either.
we gonna
let
get
him
into
be loyal.
we gonna get into Richter in a second, but yeah, that whole backstory where Erzsebet throughout her life and seeing kind of the traumatic instance that broke her, and then what drove her single-mindedly was like, wow, okay, she was
Yeah,
kind of like the abbot of, and she was the priestess
she
that
was the high priestess,
yeah. So
and
wow,
she
okay,
helped
okay, I'm
unleashed
I'm
a lot of
still
this garbage on the world.
yeah, it's like I'm still against it, but this is another example of someone who took their religion and went far left on it. Because
Man,
even when we got to see Sekhmet's spirit, she was like, "Look, my stuff is out of balance. What y'all humans
Sek-
doing?" Like,
man, Sekhmet was in.
it's like
I
y'all
felt
done took
bad
my
for.
word
Zachary
and
was struggling.
Yeah, she was
man,
in pain, and I can't even be mad when she see a human pop up in nowhere. Like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. Like, can you blame her? Like, my
yeah,
whole spirit realm is out of order. And like,
mhm,
what was the guy? That
Oron,
her
shout out
Oron.
to him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shot there.
wonderful
He's like
character. Wonderful character.
the voice
Castlevania in
acting,
general, the melanated characters that they create has so
bruh.
much time and
yeah,
care and effort. And between Castlevania and Arcane, I have to give Netflix thank you for trying to
Thank
think
you.
beyond the standard and
yeah,
giving nuances
and
and
make
paying
black people look like
homage.
actual black people and
Not
not like
only
Yes,
some kind
look,
of caricature.
yes,
not only
yes.
look, but look and sound, and have
Yeah, yeah,
agency, and have explanation.
And
They,
going into the
bruh,
Yoruba religion and the African religion, the Haitian religion and gods and mythology, we all know we're preaching to the choir. We need more stories like that, and putting it on main stages like this is how this happens.
in fact,
yeah.
So
Because
I
I didn't
was,
think we
let
would see Ogun at all. I
in
didn't think
fact,
we
yeah.
would ever see
Ogun, I
him.
said,
this
all right,
is
Ogun, yeah.
It is cool too that they're not nerfing us because we're black.
and let me say this.
Oh yeah,
In
This is
yeah.
fact,
where we
they've
gonna
kind of
give.
much acknowledged it is the most powerful thing this on the earth right now that they can
Yeah.
even find
Right.
tangible.
What's so
Like
Yeah.
beautiful
it's doing
is
Alucard,
something.
what,
Alucard literally straight up tells Richter, "You ain't built for that. That's not your. That
and
ain't your ancestors. There's no Belmonts where she going. That ain't."
and
Yeah,
just a side
that's
note,
another
Alucard's like,
level.
"Nah,
and
nah,
a,
bro,
and
not
a quick
you."
side note. In addition to this, what Netflix did and Powerhouse and all the people who adapted this to take Annette, who in the lore of the game, who was a white,
Plastic redhead, black person
who
switch
had
switcheroo.
no had no
Oh, didn't know that.
real strong background, and then to make a whole background to tie it into the Orishas and to all this,
Yeah,
that is how you adapt That's how you do something. That's how
Wow,
you
I see.
give
I
It's
didn't know
flesh.
that.
storytelling.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
means
This
so
does
they
not exist in the
that
game.
mean
She
they
does not
got
exist in the
real
game.
folks that know what they
They
doing.
really did. They
Yeah.
write and write. Like this is when I like this is how good this is. Like this is not to be. You can't stress it enough to how good that pen is because Annette is simply really just the girl that he had his fiance that he was supposed to save in the game around this timeline lore. So this is
Hmm.
actually in a way you could say it's set kind of before them being engaged per se or a little bit
Right.
alternative different to it. So I'll address more of that later because it could be more things
Well,
I guess with the
this is
episode go.
actually I think a good segue because I did want to say like obviously in Annette's story dope, 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 and also you
Yeah,
could
yeah.
compare it directly to Nels in Arcane, but neither here nor there. Right now, what I wanted to say is that yes, what Cooper's saying is what like the original Castlevania game lore is. However, and I think they did it in the first Castlevania, they did it especially in this one, even though the main character is obviously of the Belmont line as it should be, but with Richter they made it a point to let this character breathe and say, no, this is the main person for this episode. This is the main person for this story. I'm falling
Hmm.
back. I'm letting my girl do what she need to do. Even if he struggled internally with it, with that shonen quality of like, I gotta save everybody all the time. I gotta save her, whatever. And whether it's Alucard himself being like, no, I gotta stop. Even where he thought she might die, it was like, no, this is hers. You
Yeah,
gotta
this is
put
her
faith that
part.
she got it.
Your job is to do this. My job is to do that. Her job is to do this, and we all gotta trust that we just gonna do it. You can't hold her
Exactly.
hand. She can't hold your hand. Just do what you gotta do.
To let a character like to have to play to be the main character and play a supporting role for what was for the most for at least a couple of episodes or so, like let her have her own story arc. Once again, that just shows like that there was so much intention and care with the story
Yeah,
writing that they're like we could fit space for a net story and what Richter needs to do. Like we can, in
And
fact, we can have him fall back if we need
it
to.
adds to Richter and honestly,
Absolutely.
depending on where they want to go with Castlevania, it can lead into one of the next bigger things that I'll mention later of the if they go back to the game lore to do that. So this is actually you can look at it like, okay, this sets up Richter because he needed to learn that, oh, I actually do love Annette and I want to be there for Annette and I respect Annette. So if you set that up, it makes if they continue with Richter's story,
Yeah.
which
I
I
mean,
kind
she
of
was
for
one
some
of the
reason doubt
visions
they
that
will.
she was one of the visions that woke up his magic. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So
I
So
mean,
anyway,
he's more than willing to be a supportive work husband. She was like, I gotta get on this boat. And he was like, I'm
he
gonna
was
go
like,
on the
I'm coming.
boat.
and I
I'm
want to
coming.
say
He was like, I'm gonna get on this boat.
hey man, look, and,
Oh
you know what?
man,
And
I
shout
said it. I
out to
said it in one of
oh
my videos. I can't remember which one, but I was like, Chad gonna be mad because it's gonna be some light skinned Belmonts.
hey,
So it's
that
going,
was
you know,
but
so Chad gonna be mad about that. So we gonna
Chad
get ready for
can
the crying.
kiss they
And somebody
butt
gonna be
can
crying
kiss
about it.
those great writers butt, and also shout out to Justice, shout out to Alucard, be like, man, tell her how you feel. Quit being a little idiot.
Yo, man,
Like, go ahead,
Alucard got
bro.
the illest dating advice. He like, look, you like her, she like you. Y'all have conversation. Y'all laugh with each other. Y'all been
Bruh,
fighting with each other. What else you need? Stop making this more
bruh.
Alucard
complicated than it need to
said,
be.
Alucard said, I've seen this with Trevor and Sylvie or what her name, something
Yeah,
like that.
Sylvie.
Yeah,
Cypher.
yeah,
Cypher, sorry.
Cypher. Thank you, thank you. Shout out to them. Also, well done. I was like, he's like, I've been through this several times with you, Belmont and stuff. We ain't waiting until season 4. You go on and let. He's like,
Also,
Like,
he
you go
has
on and
the
let her
he has
know.
the the attitude of your life isn't long enough to
not at
play
all.
around.
Mm-mm.
Which is honestly something that I just finished telling a group of like 19, 20 year olds at church like last week. I was like, look, I know America trying to tell y'all to waste this next decade. Don't don't
Nah.
don't
You
waste it.
know,
Don't
you
waste
know,
this next decade.
Alucard really was well done this season in the sense that they also gave him space to be like, I'm going to support y'all to figure out what y'all need to do because I figured out a lot of this and I can still learn. And my bad for
Mhm.
not being here. I went to Japan and stuff like that. A bunch of Easter eggs for other spinoffs.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
about to say that.
You
A
know,
bunch
you
of
know that is another Easter egg for some kind of
all the
prequel.
In fact, now that we're talking Alucard, just to kind of not say fast forward, but basically, if they this is Mike. Remember what I said when this series started?
Mhm.
There's so much lore, and a lot of if you wasn't playing the 3DS games, which I wasn't, but I read it, I've watched it, I've read it thoroughly, thoroughly. They like when he mentions Japan, and then when he says like, I realized something like what I love about what they did with Alucard, besides the fight, and he was like, man, you know what? I've been kind of selfish. You know, he didn't say that, but it's like, I really love you, Belmont. Y'all my family. You know, like,
Mhm.
like y'all really need me. I need you because I know the lore. Like, y'all bloodline really need to be protected to do the things that I've been, the higher purpose that we all have. And that what really gave me focus from when my mom was murdered and this and that, but I needed to stop my dad's foolishness. And in the games, yeah, he went to Japan, but he goes and he lives a long, long time. And via the game lore, he kind of starts, I think, an organization that kind of trains new hunters, or he kind of goes undercover and takes many identities, and he goes and live in Japan. And he has to deal with, Alucard is kind of the long term hero because, of course, he lives forever till
Yeah.
he ever gets killed. But he when he's not the main protagonist, he's there to help whatever Belmont or offshoot person, if there's a relative or whoever takes up the mantle to kill Dracula, whoever. So I like that they slipped that in there. It's like maybe I need to establish some more lore because the Belmonts, man, like think about it. When we met Trevor, he didn't even know how to get to his family's crypt to get that
Yeah.
to get the vampire killer whip.
Oh yeah,
Like
that whip.
Trevor was just
Ooh, that whip
lost.
was serious, boy.
Trevor was trained and all that, but he didn't have the family jewels, if you will, to kill
Honestly, I
Dracula.
thought that was something that Alucard was going to bring to Richter, but he ended up infusing his whip with fire and ice, so
Well, I
that's
mean,
cool.
I
But
think
I
he
thought he was going to be
has.
like, oh, by the way, um, your great whatever
I
granddaddy
mean,
had this whip, and this joint is the realness.
technically in the lore, they always have the vampire killer whip anyway. So I know it ain't exactly the same whip, but it's
Yeah,
like symbolic of that. He already got the whipping
because
down. He
man,
know how to do it. It was
that other
just
whip, boy, good God.
yeah, the vampire killer whip is a bad thing. Of course, fortunately, it's cursed. But so maybe you don't really want it
Well, true.
because
But
basically you use it, you're going to die. It's kind
that
of the lore.
that does go another thing that goes along with what you're saying in the end of season one, it shows that he knows his role now is to support, because when he arrives and kills Drolta, he says, I hope I'm not too late.
Yeah,
So
like
like
he's
he
all
knows
in on
like,
his role.
yo man, I'm here, like our sort of investigations or whatever have dovetailed, and I hope I'm not too late kind of thing.
And
So
I
he
love how
already
he
know,
was.
like, I'm just here to help y'all kill whoever need to be killed.
I love how he still misses like Trevor and Cypher. Like Trevor would be proud. Like he
Yep.
misses his dog so much. He misses Trevor.
One of
Man,
the
He
Trevor
greatest,
loves
one of the
Trevor.
Trevor
greatest
was crazy, but he
parts
was cool.
one of the greatest parts of the whole season to me, just because you have to have the callbacks too. You have your Easter eggs, you can have your hints, but the callbacks are really good too. And anime can learn more from this. I think Western Storyteller does it a little bit more often. Is that when Richter asks, like, "Do you wish that like Dracula wasn't your pappy?" Basically, for lack of better words,
Hmm.
and Alucard is like, no, because if that was not who my dad was, and that wasn't the people I met, then I wouldn't have encountered and been with those other people that I encountered in life. And that was direct homage to Trevor's story, to Cypher's story. And it's like, if it wasn't for that and knowing that and encountering that, all this whole thing would have been different. Like I couldn't guarantee that I would have met Richter and the Belmonts and
I
Trevor and so
mean,
on and
let's
so
be
forth. And that
honest.
was really good. And it shows like it's kind of like off-screen character development, but like you
Yes,
see such a different Alucard now because you want
Yeah,
him to
way
find
different.
peace so much
he's
in
not bitter
Castlevania.
and lonely, and
Yeah, and you see him kind of get like kicked down over and over again in Castlevania to the point where you're like, man, like he falls in love and he's like doing all this stuff, and then people keep taking advantage of him because he is such a sensitive heart. And I love in that same conversation he says like, well, have you fallen in love? He's like countless times, and that like shows
yes,
that he's like, I'm okay falling in love again. Like I'm not walled off like you've seen Alucard in the past, like he lets his guard down and he gets beat down and he puts his wall back up. So it's like it's such a mature, developed Alucard.
Oh,
It's such a
bro.
great way to write that he is developed. Even though we didn't see
He
it, we know that he's in a better
Alucard
place than he was
is
before.
probably one of my favorite animated anime characters in a long, long time. That if far as like being whatever type of English romance type of character, he might be my favorite, other than Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah,
And he
shouts
might
to D,
still
man.
beat
He's dope.
he might still beat Vampire Hunter D because he's so witty, he funny, he can
Yeah.
but
Even his conversation at the end with Juiced for a second, like his kind of like back and forth with him, like, yeah, last time I saw you, I was what, 14 or something like that.
like,
Where
I'm
you
sorry
been?
I didn't come fish with you, bro. You know, bring
Yeah.
your toys. I'm
So
sorry.
yeah, like that kind of stuff. It does provide a lot of insight just to his attitude and his outlook. It's just extremely well done. So I'm gonna throw this in. I'm gonna throw this statement in for y'all. See how y'all feel about this. The self-righteousness of Maria from season 1 shows how quickly self-righteousness can turn into almost straight up evil, like overnight. Like, because remember, she was super self-righteous about
Yeah.
the revolution and everything,
I'm-
and also in sort of Tera too. But maybe I'm tripping.
No, you're not tripping. Her self-righteousness never. So Maria is a special case.
Yeah.
It is. I think that her character development is masked. She learned how to harness her power through her trauma, and by taking that trauma and putting it elsewhere. I don't think she actually had character development this season. And I'm not saying it as a bad writing or anything. I think she just has somewhere else to go with this because her self-righteousness never goes away. It gets
Nah.
misplaced. It gets misplaced because she has the tragedy of her mother, her father and her mother and all that. She goes, kills the dad, all that stuff. And I'm kind of thinking with her the monster she's summoning and stuff. I'm like, just because they black, they want to act like not black, like black, but I'm like physically black.
They're
They're
not
like
from the dark.
yeah, they're like they're bad or whatever,
heart
but the
or
light
whatever.
ones are coming from the same place. And then you see at the end of the season, she very much is still bitter. She very much still is self-righteous. She's like, yep, off of their head, bump that. Like, so
But
she very yes.
I guess for me, I don't disagree with your statement, and I actually kind of agree with you saying, Ninja. Yeah, it was more about development of her powers, because again, depending on where this series goes, she does come back. I ain't mad at her self-righteousness because she a revolution. She like, look, these people gotta go. Maria is she about that murder. She
Oh, I agree with
chop
you.
their head off.
Because there was
I
that
kinda like
conversation with the abbot in this first season where he said,
Bruh.
where I will lean with him on this, where he said, after you've raised this country to the ground, who's going to rebuild it? So I will slightly lean to that because she seems like she's starting to tip into just burn it all, just to burn it all. Not burn it all because we're going to make something new. And then kind of seeing her mom in the back with that dark character
So you
smiling.
so when you see it in her eyes when she goes over the deep end, her spirals in her eyes are literally animated in the same fashion as Old Man Coyote, who is hovering over her mom.
Yeah.
So that place of darkness, it could be a gazillion different things. I'm not familiar what her story comes from here. I don't know if that's showing influence from Old Man Coyote or showing that she has some of the same pitfalls as her mother that might lean her there. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate, but I do know that I'm saying her quote unquote character development was a facade. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's actually quite interesting that I'm like, she's like
I think. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
She's a good person. Like, it's not saying that she's gonna be evil, but she's flawed, and it's good to show. Just like it's good to show all rocks have some potentialities to have quote unquote good, whatever that might be. I think Maria's a good mirror to that. It's like,
you know what? I agree. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Okay.
Orlox with the wisdom and knowledge shows what Maria ain't getting because she's young.
She's naive, for sure.
She's like 14, 15. She's not going to know how to play the nuances of both sides of war. But at the same time, you need a bunch of Marias to get up and go kill the monarchs and chop their head off to make change. So it's not like you don't need her. You need what she got in her fire.
I
but
agree.
she
I
need to
think
control it just a little bit.
I was going to say, yeah, exactly. That's you got to exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah,
She's
gotta
got to
have
find.
control.
She has to find a balance to her yin to her
Yeah.
yang. Them
So
insinuating that just the yang, that the dark was bad. I don't think that was what her character needed because that's still something she has to acknowledge. It's very Cobra Kai's Tory. It's very Tory. It's like of like
hey
your
man,
anger and your pain and all that. You don't need to push that down and just be. I summon light monsters now. That's still the same monster. It's like that was the
Mhm.
same wolf creature thing that was dark. Now that it's light, that doesn't mean that you fix stuff. So when
Yeah.
like,
I
yeah, I
think what
don't.
we see in her is kind of like one of those faux changes. And here's what I mean by faux changes.
Right.
Not that the writing is bad. I think what they're writing is similar to that person that's like, hey, I kicked this bad habit or whatever. And they think they've kicked it, but the second they get around any type of trigger, guess what? They back to
Mm-hmm.
that old, addiction or whatever it is. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like they think they kicked it. Like, nah, 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 nah. That demon's still sitting on your shoulder. You ain't really
I
Right.
kicked.
mean,
You're just happy
unfortunately,
now. You're just happy now, and nothing's bothering you yet.
unfortunately, how many Marias are running around with people heads getting chopped off and people getting shot up and done? I don't know. I don't know the answer for Maria. It's just that it's kind
Yeah.
of brolic for this kid to be like, oh, hand me the bread, Mr. Justice, and I'm gonna enjoy this head
Well,
beheading.
who's eating
Yeah.
bread like popcorn at a
Just eat
beheading?
Yeah. I'm
I'm
like,
popcorn.
just
Just
saying.
this is
I heard
no.
that they was doing it, but it's just to
Yeah.
see it
They were.
animated
I
in
mean,
history.
honestly, if you look in antebellum days here in
Yeah,
America, the
having
things that they would
picnics.
do with strange fruit, and they would come out like it was lunchtime.
That's true. That's true. That's
You
Yeah,
know,
true.
they would come out like that's. I don't know, man. That's they
that's kind
thing.
of
I'm gonna just
like
say
I ain't gonna lie,
I'm
it's
gonna
kind
say
of
that's
dark.
their thing.
It's kind of dark, but at the same time, you should be like, we had to kill him, but to enjoy the death so
Yeah.
much,
And then when
it's a
she
little dark.
enjoys it, you see Tera and Old Man Coyote, who I know
Mm-hmm.
Orlox calls him Mephistopheles, and I don't know any
Well,
about that lore, but I know he called him that once. And but you see Maria kind of happy about the beheading, and then you see Tara and the Old Man Coyote smile too. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah,
I
that's
mean,
one of
it's
the things.
really
Like,
simple.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm off that narcotic, and he ain't really off that
To
narcotic.
be honest, I mean, I'll go ahead and dress it. I mean, it's pretty easy. It's Satan.
Oh,
Like
it
it's
is.
kind
Oh,
of like
okay. So it's just
it's
straight
like
up Satan.
if it's
Well, they
straight, it's not.
referred to it and said the devil, and then there's like I don't know about the devil, so that's why I thought maybe
It's
not, because they literally say it may
it's
not be the devil.
it's
Right,
like a
right.
very if you want to will, it's like a variant of them. But any which way it go, it leads to
All right,
death.
cool.
To that, and also sometimes in Castlevania, death does come back. Remember, they already killed death,
Yeah,
so
you're
it's like
right. You did kill Death.
death never leaves. I didn't know if that was gonna be a form of death comeback, so it could be death slash Satan, whatever. Because death is just like, look, I need all of y'all to die, vampire and all this, because I get my kicks from it. He might just be like, if they got all these different variants of an Egyptian god, that could just be like, all right, you do this, that's another part of it, but it kind of leads to the same path, you know, and he's around. There ain't no real kind of getting rid of him. In fact, you do fight Satan in the series too as well, because I think Satan was like, "Look, I hate you vampires." Like they was in his way. It was like fiction, different factions and all this. So yeah, it's like you never know where it's gonna go with Old Man Cody. He could be the next person, like how they kind of did talk about death, foreshadowed it, and then he wound up having to kill death. So it's like he's there. So it's a possibility of where that goes, but
Word. Then I know Ninja ain't gonna be with us too much longer. I wanna talk about Richter and Annette like more in depth now. Because we finally got our little coupled up. But we do have, I mean, shoot, you want to talk about a power couple. I mean,
Absolutely.
they've been in the trenches a few times. Like, I mean, shoot, when Annette shows up, she essentially saves Richter's life. He even mentions it in
Mm-hmm.
season 2 because they had never seen night creatures before. I guess maybe there hadn't been a Forge Master since way back, like when Isaac was doing his thing. So, like, just seeing Richter growing, seeing
Mm-hmm.
Annette growing, and then also growing together
Right.
was awesome.
Like I
And
said.
then Annette going spirit realm, and then I
Yes.
mean, of course, I know they don't call it the spirit realm, but like that whole idea was genius. He was like, well, no, there's more than two parts. There's a third part. And I think you can actually get that third part. Like, that was just genius. And then her battle in the spirit realm, seeing her mother, like this.
Bruh, her use of iron, like, she made Magneto proud. I just love her powers. I like, bruh, they design.
She kind of humbled Drolta a little bit in season one.
As she
should.
Like,
I mean, for coming up on a character that you know nothing about, you don't know this vampire, what they can do or can't do, and she held her own in a tight closed space, bruh, you right, Magneto would be proud.
Yeah, if she just was older and had more power, like say Cypher, who was just cold out the gate.
Yeah, Cypher was killing it.
On it for like
Cypher was way too good to just be walking around like telling stories. Nah, I mean, girl, you got to get in the fight.
When Cypher got unlocked, it was kind of over with, and I liked that it similar to Annette and Richter for her partner or future partner at the time to recognize that it went so far to like humble himself and be like, oh no, girl, you got this, and so Richter did the same with Annette, in steps, which is nice, up to the big pivotal monologue where he's like, I didn't know what a night creature was, and you just rolled up and just slayed that thing. Like, Annette is so fearless, and not with plot armor fearless. She just rolls up because she's like, she always alludes it back to back home.
Somebody got to do it.
Yeah, she equates it to back home, and I'm like, that's such a great parallel. It's like, what I'm gonna do? Go home, go back and be a slave or something? Like, it's like
the great parallel between them two. She got to slay her demon, and then it was crazy is that Belmont Richter had to work with his because he still said, "Look, Orlox, I hate you. I'm gonna kill you, but I saw the bigger picture for France right now."
Yeah.
Now, who's to say Orlox is not really? He's in the story, but he ain't really this. This is a whole nother iteration.
Actually, you're saying it exactly. You're saying it right. I would also take it a step further. It's like learning when to step away, because Alucard was like, okay, I'm not going to kill you today. And Richter had to step back for other people to do what they need to do. And that did not kill that creature thing. Like, she was like, y'all are coming back to take y'all space. I've held it off. I'm going back home or going back to my body. It was like it's like you get a win within yourself. You've done what you can, and acknowledging that it's like the win is not necessarily the stake to the heart or whatever like that. You can win in other ways too. And so like that maturity and recognizing, I'm done fighting this thing. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm heading on back.
Speaking of maturity, because they basically slayed the dragon. At least Erzsebet's out the way. Erzsebet and Drolta and the segment thing that's done. But speaking of maturity, I was also expecting Richter to be to basically turn to Orlox and say, along the lines of, look, we probably ain't never going to be best friends, but I do still remember your words. My mother killed someone you loved. So how about this? We'll leave it at that. You and my mom's story is you and my mom's story. It ain't got to be ours. Now, once again, we might not ever be best friends, but I'm going to just leave it at that. I was expecting to see something like that where it's like, you know what?
Later.
I'm not chasing.
That's too much final season. That's too much final season.
Oh, that's too much final season.
And also, just keeping with him being a Belmont, I appreciate it. Like, bruh, my last name is Belmont. It's still the smoke. There ain't many of us left. I'm going to kill you because I'm here to kill all vampires.
Because in that first season, he said, just the way you love your mom is the way I love the person your mom killed. So it's like, as an older person, you can be like, you know what?
He don't have to get his lick back.
I'm not happy about it. I don't like it, but I do also understand we all living by the gun. So we all die by the gun. And you know what? Our beef ain't got to be y'all's beef. Now, at the same time, we probably ain't going to be kissing and hugging and, skipping down the street. But I can understand.
Here's the great thing. Orlox didn't say nothing. Orlox didn't even trip about it. Because remember what he said earlier before he turned old boy? He's like, and when old boy said, look, you think I'm going to be on the run? He's like, hey, man, the new world is big. Yeah. There's plenty of places to go. Now, yes. I can't blame Richter for saying that, but what Richter got going on,
that's
the way they
slightly
go,
backwards.
But I'm
because they
saying,
had that conversation before he went to go save old
what
dude.
I'm
So
saying, what I'm saying is
ultimately,
this: is
he had to
that,
go save old dude first.
but I'm saying,
So
what I'm saying is that Orlox can go. He probably never, if they want to, he may never ever see Orlox again. That's why
Yeah.
Orlox like, it's whatever, dog. You know, you got to do you, blah blah blah. He
I
just
don't.
disappeared.
I
That's just
think.
me insinuating.
I think
Because
with what with what's his name's eyes going red, which is kind of a telltale sign that's it just ain't right. Like his eyes are going any color, they went red. I don't think that their story is done within the thing too. Something's I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if they're gonna find themselves on the other side of like on the other side of the battlefield or what. The something insinuates that I was like that story is clearly not done. Maybe those two found themselves at odds. I don't know, but usually in media, if someone, vampire or otherwise, wakes up and out of all the colors in the world, a vampire's eyes can be, they go
Yeah.
red
in fact,
immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know.
reason why I agree with you, because he is still a soldier. Aurochs love him. Aurochs is kind of like, I didn't live too long. He just freshly made. He liked to fight, so he might go.
Yeah.
There's always weird organizations trying to
He's
bring
still
back
gonna have
Dracula.
his principles about him. Like just like you're turned vampire, you don't. Your personality doesn't like who you are doesn't change besides the fact that you're a vampire.
And
Yeah,
So
because
he's
like
when
a
he
his
found out that
religious
Abbott
man.
sensibilities.
had when he found out that Abbott had a child, he was like, okay, look, I can't follow. Like, come on, I went with this night creature stupid stuff because hey, you had me believing, fine, but you got a kid too. Come on, man.
Even though
He had that look on his
that's
face like,
funny
all
that
right,
that's
man,
the
I
thing
can't do
that
this no
set
more.
you off. That's the line. You can
Yeah.
open up portals to hell, but
I
you
mean,
got a
honestly,
kid.
that's the whole line of last year,
Oh, oh my
2024,
god.
the Omen movie. What is it? The first Omen. That's the plot to that. They was like, yo, man, people don't love the church. It's the 70s, the sexual revolution stuff. People don't love the church. How about we bring in the Antichrist to force people to? It's like nobody was in that meeting. Was
Like
like,
what?
you know what? Why don't we not bring in the Antichrist?
Yeah, let's not bring about the end of
Because I
times to
don't
prove our
think
point.
that's a good. You know what? Let's put a pin in that.
It's like that's as bad as Eddie Murphy saying eat when he ate the pasta in Vampire Brooklyn, but like
Oh.
evil's good. I ain't gonna say the rest, but you know how
Like
that line
evil
went.
is
Evil
good.
is good.
But yeah, I remember watching that movie, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the movie The First Omen. I thought it was good. I thought it was well done. But when you think about the plot, it's like so nobody was in that like
The plot
Catholic meeting
simply
or whatever. Or,
is
like, yo,
evil is
let's
good.
let's not do this
Let's
because
use
like,
evil to fight evil.
what
No,
makes you
bruh.
think you can control this thing when you
I
have
don't
when you
know.
like what? Anyway, but yeah, that was,
I think the
it's
homie
like.
ninja had to drop
Yeah,
out.
Ninja had to bounce. So shouts out to Ninja. But yeah, that whole line of like Orlox and Mizrak, I don't know if that's done or not. And then Richter and Annette, like them together, even their banter back and forth after they get on the boat, it's awesome.
It paid
I
off.
like it. I like how they paid it off.
It made
Um,
me feel good that like okay, like eventually, even though all the Belmont's lives are hell, they do get
you
their
get to go through it.
victory
You
for
don't
the
have to be
most
alone.
part.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
don't. Well, they kind of always die. They
Well,
do
no, but
kind
what
of
I'm
start
saying
to
is you
make.
don't have to be
Yeah,
alone. Like you saw how
you don't have
Trevor
to
was like,
be. Yeah.
I'm on my own. I'm a lone wolf dog. Then
Well,
he met
Trevor was a
Cypher.
drunk.
Cypher.
Trevor was drunk, and he had just got excommunicado. He basically got fired from his job.
Oh snap!
So
You're
I
true.
mean,
You're right.
Trevor was like
Was
really.
he fired on
Alucard,
his day
Alucard
off?
was trying to tell him like you ain't got to be alone.
What did
This
they
your
say?
woman. Be
Trevor
with your
was
woman.
sleeping in pig shit. I mean,
Yeah, he
so
was.
excuse my language,
It
but
wasn't
Trevor
pretty,
was
right?
face down in pig mud.
It was a little funky for a while. He won't
So
live it. And you know what?
Trevor,
Speaking about Trevor, Cypher not only was like boss level fighting, but she also did. She spent a lot of time being like the den mother between them two. Like she's been like, all
it's
right, look, Alucard, you stop tripping, and Trevor, you stop tripping too. Like, or be like, Trevor, you're right, but you're going too far, and Alucard, he's right, but just chill for a second. Like, she spent a
I
lot of
just
time
know
refereeing between them two.
Golden Globes. You gotta make an animated. We talked about this. Listen to
Yeah,
our episode before. You gotta make an animated drama thing. This thing deserves an award. You cannot put this in the same category as Bob's Burgers and all that because it's kind of. I know it's
yeah.
wonky, and I
This
know
would
knock to them.
it doesn't make sense for
It
this to
don't
be
make a
with
bit of sense.
like Simpsons.
Now,
You need You need, or maybe do something like do since
This
animation, since there's maybe less considered for animation, maybe you could do like an extra show. I mean, you're gonna sell the advertising anyway, so maybe do an extra shorter show for animation or
bro,
something. But
this
you know what I'm saying?
two
Like
more
it's hard to
awards.
lump those things in with. I mean,
Now
it's
they
like
probably
Simpsons
wouldn't.
with Castlevania or something, or like
They
was it
probably
last year where they had?
it was
I think they
Blue
had Blue Eye
Eyes with a
Samurai and
seven.
Bob's Burgers in the same thing. It's like,
I
come on,
know.
man.
It's like
Yeah.
and Invincible is like just give us a animated non-comedy. If you want to be
Yeah,
broad, just do an animated non-comedy thing. Because they're not
yeah,
gonna really touch anime because anime got its own awards and industries and stuff. They
yeah.
might
Or
some might
maybe like
come
two
over,
more.
but
You got your
yeah.
animated comedy, animated action, animated drama. Boom. There's three. It could be a short show, maybe around 20 minutes,
I
30
wouldn't even.
tops,
And I know
and
you
there you
love
go.
action. I would be broad because it's gonna be one those that fit multiple modes. Because if you know, they're not gonna do some action like some shows they just not gonna do. I know you know how that how they gonna do
Yeah,
how them people gonna do like they're never gonna take like Dan to
because
Dan because that's gonna be like
Emmys be
in
putting dramas into comedy all the time, even with live action.
oh my
This
god.
is not a comedy. I mean, there's some stuff that's
The
funny, but
Bear
this
would
is
tell
not a
you they not a
comedy.
comedy, but they gonna take that award. They gonna be like, all right, because you know
You know
why?
how you take the award, you walk up and you're like, thanks. I mean,
But
yeah,
yeah,
okay, yeah, I'll take it. You know what
now I
I'm saying?
can
But
raise rates.
yeah, I
Hey.
can raise the rates and hopefully this will help us stay around. But
Look, everybody
I'm
gets a
glad you
raise.
thought some stuff was funny.
Man, the Bear is depressing, honestly. Great show, but it's depressing.
Yeah,
It's
that's why
tensely
I couldn't
depressing.
stick along with it.
It,
I think it's a good show. I think it's like it's well
bruh,
done, but I can't nah.
if my skin was a live nerve, they touched it. It is just like da 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 da.
Yeah,
So that's
because
all I'm saying.
you know, like I won't say too much, but I love my brother. But the story, I can see many parallels, and I'm like, yeah, nah, I can't watch this. Joint is close to home, even though
Bruh,
we don't run a family restaurant, but
it's also my. I can see the parallel too, bro. I
I
have a
can,
brother
yeah,
who
I can.
passed on.
And I mean,
It's
of
hard.
course, not
It's
to be
hard.
morbid, but our parents aren't getting any younger, and I can sort of foresee some things. I hope not, but I can definitely understand.
Bruh.
Hey, dad's gone, and all this is in my lap. And guess what? I'm not an only child, but this is all in my
That's
lap.
just
Like,
one of them shows where it's like you get a little whim of muse, and next know you crying. Next know you crying or you're outraged. But
yeah,
back to this. But yeah, man. I love the Richter and that thing, and I guess just looking at something, I know we ain't gonna be much longer. Looking at
no,
the
we could go a
lore.
little bit longer if y'all are
Okay,
cool. I know
I'm
we
cool. I'm
started
cool.
super late, but we could go a little bit
I'm
longer.
good, man. We ain't got work tomorrow. It's
Oh yeah,
holiday.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I got
We-
work on other stuff, but
oh well,
then
you got
all right,
work.
if that's the case, then I'll bring this up. Annette's glow up.
Beautiful.
Oh, Annette's glow up. Since we already talked about Richter and Annette, Annette's glow up. Come on now, come
That
on
was a
now,
gorgeous design.
come on now.
Shout out to the artist. Shout out to whoever thought of it. Like, hey, bro.
Look, like if I was Richter, I'd be like, what? All right, now. I
Hey,
mean,
bro.
I mean,
Shout out to Richter.
I know we got
Richter
work
was
to do,
already.
but
Richter
just
was
for a second,
already in love.
let me appreciate.
Richter was already nose wide open.
Yeah,
It
he
was
already
just more.
smitten, but when that
So-
glow up, I was like, okay.
I was
okay.
like, I understand. I understand. Shout out to
Man.
Sekma. She wasn't ugly.
Yo,
Even though she had
nah,
fangs.
yo, she
You know,
came through.
Look, Segment, look, I'm clean. Segment had the look, she had the gold, she had this. She like, you gonna throw me in a body of an unworthy, dirty, filthy vessel? This dummy here, this big giantess out here doing wrestling moves. She was strong though. She was slamming dragons.
Yo.
Like Lord. But
Oh, shouts out to the dragon man. Look, there's so much dopeness. But
Dragon
yeah,
was-
Annette's glow up, the way, because Annette's glow up isn't just the suit. It's also like her meeting Sekhmet, her talking to Sekhmet, actually getting her to kind of agree to take her. Because at first she was just like, I hate humans, which understandably so. Because she's like, why are y'all twisting my, I guess, teachings or values or whatever? Y'all are twisting them. And then Annette is kind of like, yo, we know. That's why we need you to come fix this.
I mean,
Like, 'cause
shout out
this
to
lady
Sekma
going
was
crazy.
mad at first, but then she like, all right, I'll take your word. Like, I'm gonna jump in your body. It's up to you. Like, keep. I don't know if Sekhmet could necessarily die. Or she just was out of the balance. But you're like, if you want it, you got it. Don't cry about what you about to get, because I'm about to take over.
And that
So,
that battle in the spirit realm and outside in the real world, top notch for Annette. And then also Richter trying to figure out a way to keep her body cooler and stuff. Just awesome, man. Like straight up.
shout out to
Like,
Richter
the show
using the
kills.
ice to be a gentleman and just to show that, like, hey. And I think without saying it, Sekhmet was like, all right, I know you care for this person clearly. So I'm gonna go. Like, I'm not gonna just be like, get out my way, human. Like, she's like, all right, I gotta kill this thing that's poisoning my body, my spirits. So, I appreciated that. She did a lot without saying a whole lot.
Word. And I guess from that, back to Drolta for like 2 seconds. That was interesting seeing her face and the way they animated her face when she said, I thought this is what you wanted. So there is, kind of like that whole Abbott thing where it's like, so you were kind of the Abbott of your day.
She was the high priestess.
Because she's sitting there with tears in her eyes saying, I thought this is what you wanted. Because from her perspective, these people came in, they desecrated your temple, they killed all these people, I realized that you're not only the daughter of the sun or whatever, you're also a woman of war or whatever. I can't remember the actual words or whatever. So, I thought it was time to go to war. But Segment was like, no, you messing stuff up.
Like, you misread everything. Like, I brought this vampire possibly to make you stronger. I don't know, or she just misinterpreted that. But then you went to the nth degree to find some vessel I ain't tell you to go do.
Yeah, I never told you to do
just
any of this.
throw me out of whack. Like, I left my heart in my mummy, and it got styled. Yeah, I'll say this: it started probably to throw her out of whack when her body got stolen. Her mummy got stolen.
Hey, Segment was like, you done violated so hard, you done threw my pH off.
Like, realistically, if you think about it, she failed on Drolta. I ain't gonna say she's a failure, because in her mind, she was successful in doing the wrong thing. But you let my body get stolen. That's strike one. Then you found this trash to take my power, unworthy, and then you out here trying to go for the home run and then take her place. Like, you are stepping over every line. Like,
and
stepping,
honestly,
hopping, and jumping and skipping over the line.
Honestly, I ain't gonna go too far because we in Castlevania, but I'll say this: there is a word in this whole story of you doing everything but what he told you to do. But I ain't gonna go there. Preacher son ain't gonna go there right now. I'm gonna just leave it right there. Y'all doing everything but what's actually in the book.
She was a habitual line stepper. Getting people killed for this hope.
Mad people killed.
Bad people killed.
It's not like one or two people died. Like,
here's the thing, and I get it. Maybe she just didn't have the tech. Why don't you? Well, I guess since she made themselves a vampire, she couldn't go find the dang on body a long time ago. But the abbot making her a night creature, which is crazy that night creatures can exist in the day and it don't hurt them.
I was surprised. I was surprised that worked, because there are a lot, since I love supernatural action and supernatural horror. Supernatural action more, but still, I was like, when stuff like this happens, most of the time when you bring something back, it ain't always what you think. Shouts out to Pet Cemetery. It's like, look.
Well, I think
sometimes when you bring something back,
going back to season
I was
one,
like, Erzsebet, I'm not sure if you want to do this.
The reason why they don't do that, I guess, is because, for one, no control. Like, the humans, if the Forge Master do the humans, they have automatic control over them. So this was already dead material. Like he said, this is a new thing. Like, so I don't think what's their name from the original series? Well, they probably would have like, hell no, I ain't doing no vampire.
Who, Isaac?
Yeah, Isaac. And what's his name?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it wasn't even
fell in
like
love with the vampire.
Like, it wasn't even like an option. I don't think. No, like, because nobody ever thought of it before.
Well, yeah, they did. They didn't really need to, or I mean,
And,
maybe they might have needed to, but they didn't think about it to do it. You know what I'm saying?
you
So
know,
yeah, that I'm surprised it worked. I mean, I guess I'm glad
and
it worked
quite
out for
frankly,
them.
if they could make it work, is any vampire above them gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna let you roll out in the sun? Like, I don't know. They might be too jealous. They would be like, let's not do this. They be like, if I can't go, you can't go.
Nah, you ain't nobody going in the sun out here.
So
But
I don't know why,
yeah,
but
that man, I'll jump back on this scene real quick with the information from like the Richter's big mouth, where he's like, I hope the vampires in Paris are better than y'all. Like,
oh, bro.
we all knew that was going to come back to bite him, right?
Every time he run his mouth,
Man, I was like, man,
every time Victor
I was
poked out his
like-
chest in this series, he immediately was humbled or even ran away like a little kid. Immediately,
Man.
right? We'd be the next episode. Only one time it didn't work when they tried to kill him by that river. He had to get swole.
oh
'Cause
yeah,
when
he said I would say something cool, but nah, and he just burned him. That was dope.
because he know that he wanted to live up to the name, but I mean he felt like a fraud ever since he got his mama in his mind
Yeah.
killed and whatever. So he was a try hard. He was like, I got to puff in my chest. I got to be tough. Which you like that about Richter, but he just never played the real game. He was only in
Yeah.
practice.
He
hitting
ain't played a
balls, and
real game until them night creatures came through. And he was
He
like,
ain't
oh,
never had no high
okay.
heat thrown at his head. He was just in the
Yeah.
batting cage.
yes,
know.
yep. See, he thought till he got in the real, like, he been
He
sparring.
ain't never tried.
He's been sparring
dunk
with
on
a partner
Matumbo.
at half speed. He ain't been in a live fight.
See, there's a lot of people who dunked on Matumbo, but there's a lot of people who tried and fell on their butt.
Yeah,
Like, good luck.
yeah.
This is a tall
man,
task for you.
Yeah,
And
he
mean,
ain't
real,
want that.
he was running around with his basically, adopted kid
Sort of kid
sister with
sister,
Maria,
yeah.
and she was all like, Richter wasn't even really about the revolution, but he's like, I got to do it. I'm here in France, he's not French anyway, so it ain't really his country, but it kind of was his country. But it is what it is. So, but she was all in, so he just kind of didn't have no
I'm not
official
from
purpose.
France, but I like French toast.
Okay.
Speaking about France in general, the time period, how do you think they handled that political backdrop against now that we have 2 seasons to kind of look at it? Like, how do you feel about the whole political thing, how it leaned on this? Do you feel like it dragged the story, or do you feel like it was like just enough?
It was just enough. It was just enough
cool.
to get the backdrop of it on, because you would think in reality both sides that are fighting each other would see demons from hell and vampires fight each other. They would stop, but they're like, nope, let's stop this war. We go kill you people. We already made a deal with the devil. Y'all might have made a deal with the devil. Both sides kind of made a deal with the devil in a weird way. So it's like nothing. The party don't stop. I got to kill you.
And
so it's like,
Orlox told the abbot, he was like, you think these night creatures are going to be able to protect you when she eventually double crosses you? He said that like in season 1 in a roundabout way. He basically said, I don't remember his exact words, but basically it was like, you think these night creatures can protect you?
Like,
he's like, look, I'm a dragon. I'm 250 something years old, and I'm looking at this woman, and I'm letting you know, you ain't got nothing. I don't care how many night creatures you make. He's like, look, because I'm tiptoeing around this chick, and I got power.
And I just want to say this about Erzsebet. I thought they never alluded to that she was younger than Drolta, and I never known until that. It's like, she doing all this talking with. She was strong. She was mad, evil, and crazy, because that's why she was locked in that tower.
And I thought, at least from the way she came off in season 1, I thought she was a pureblood.
But I guess it don't matter when you get blood of a god, so it kind of like, jumps you a few
because I'm
levels.
thinking like just a regular human can hold that. Like, okay,
Man, She just was she was just evil.
And also apparently she was always super tall, or like maybe she always had
Yes,
heels
she
and we
was
just
a
didn't
bigot.
know.
She was already a bigot. I was like, oh, she's just tall. Like, oh my god.
I was like, is she wearing heels? Because when she stood up like
Sure.
in the flashback, I was like, oh, so she was just like
was
regularly tall.
an intimidating woman.
Wait, you
Crazy.
talking about Erzsebet or
Yeah.
Drolta?
Erzsebet.
Yeah, she
Erzsebet,
was
yeah.
always insane and crazy and big.
Yeah.
Now, of course, she be morphing and getting bigger, but she was about at least 6'2" or something.
Yeah, because she was mad tall. Because Drolta came up to like maybe her shoulder / neckline, and Drolta's already a vampire at that time.
Yeah, and she was already bigger than Jolta. I'm like, oh, okay. Good lord. So
Yeah, so that whole thing of like, I guess subverting at least my expectation, because I assumed that she was a pureblood, and that's why she could kind of.
I'm just gonna say this, folks. See what happens when you give a maniac unchecked power and give them more. That's all I'm gonna say.
Now, with what you just said, now it's gonna be rough. But look at that season finale. But God, you know what I'm saying? But God, all you gotta do is hope. No, it's fine. I ain't
look, hey, look. Nah, you can give God the credit. God allowed it. However you want to put it, it's a greater power allowed that to happen. And shout out to the ancestors. They're like, nah, you going back, baby. You going back.
Like,
you got more to do. That was beautiful. And well, you know, Papa Legba didn't say nothing. He was looking crazy at first, but he's like, "Oh, you got. I'm gonna bring you to the person that you know, your patron, to Iron, and you know, and then you gonna handle this up, you know. But you got to do it."
Speaking about the Orishas, do any of y'all know? I guess I had to do some more research because I was like looking around. Who is the three-face? I guess I don't know. I guess he's like sucking in the souls or giving them like transferring the souls after they die. Who was that? Because it didn't look. It looked at sometimes like he meant Annette harm, and sometimes it looked like he was kind of just doing his job of taking the dead souls. So I don't know, because he was kind of stalking her and kind of.
To be honest, because he changed into what was Papa Legba, but I think that other image.
I thought a form of Papa Legba.
But I also think it's another version of I think Greek has a god, multi-faced god that has multiple things. So it could be multiple things going on with that.
Right.
I think that was just
the universe has Triclops. So
yeah. Okay.
But I do
many faces too.
But with that said, I do like how this show doesn't spell out things so that you can we can have these conversations, we can ask these questions, we can research, we can go Google stuff because I remember hearing about Mephistopheles like somewhere in high school. I mean I don't follow that stuff. So when I was like, oh, who is that? Hold up, I had to
pretty
Google
much the same as Mephisto, kind of sort of. It goes to a level you don't want to go.
So yeah, I had to look up hold up. So I do like how this show holds your hand just enough, but it doesn't treat you like you're stupid. It's like, okay, cool. Sometimes we're just gonna do things and you're just gonna have to go with it.
It doesn't pull a Tiger Waititi with a collection of gods. Just like stuff. Sorry, I had to bring. I just had to. I was like, Lord. I still think about that. And it's like, you know what?
That movie could have been absolute fire. Like straight up, that movie could have been absolute fire.
At this point, I don't even remember.
The character's nickname is the God Butcher. Like, do you know how dope that movie could have been?
Should have been. You gotta make it R-rated.
What we expected of it, like he thumbed his nose at what anyone expected of it.
Well, that was good crack that was going on in his system, so or something. I don't know, man. I won't slant that man, but
he was on that sauce hard.
I don't even want to go far.
Well, he was on that. What do they call it when they say? Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca, I think.
Ayahuasca.
I just know that
he had a vision quest.
You mess up lore and use of myths of gods. Like I don't even know how they can get Hercules in this thing. I don't even think we get Hercules in this
Bruh.
thing now.
I'll
So
say this and I'll jump off of
unfortunately,
this movie
but
because we already been, we've
yeah,
been disappointed in it, but I don't see how someone in a leadership role, I'm not going to say his name, I'm gonna let him slide for right now, because people love, when it comes to a certain studio, they love calling the person that runs the studio's name. And then when they come to Marvel, somehow that person's name, you know, gets to sidestep all bad, press and stuff. So matter of fact, I will say his name. I don't know how Kevin Feige spends all this money and looks at this film, let's say the first cut, and says, "Yeah, let's roll with this." I don't look. If I gave somebody millions of dollars and they gave me this back, the first cut, I would have been like, "What
on the flip
are you
head side though,
doing? What?
he did
I
take.
gave you the money to make the did
But
who?" Where,
to be fair,
do
Mike,
I have to hold? Where I give you the money, I leave, I come back,
he
and I got this.
he did throw away all the Daredevil that we didn't want. He refixed
Oh,
Daredevil.
so yeah, he learned his
So he
lesson.
learned. So he do learn. So hey, learning
Yeah,
is
because
fundamental.
there was, at least from the rumor mill,
He
that
threw
he
a
made
whole
everybody
season of
start from the
TV away.
yeah, he
He like,
made
what?
everybody start from the beginning.
Look, so that was that whole strike period, and then he had the ability to fire people. Unfortunately, not that I like people losing their job, but y'all didn't do y'all homework right, and he had to let y'all
Man,
go.
that Love and Thunder
They
boy.
probably went and ran. They probably went and wrote for the CW.
Mm, mm.
Before it dissipated. But anyway,
It was that.
RP CW.
But yeah, back to Castlevania, man. This show rocks. I mean, never have I been so pumped for, and this is my next question to you guys. Never have I been so pumped in a penultimate and finale.
Yes.
In recent history, is this the best penultimate and finale episode back to back in, say, the last 2 to 5 years?
I'll say
Because of the shows
something.
that I've watched, especially when it comes to HBO and stuff like that, usually the penultimate episode be hype, and the finale, it's like they forget that they're making a show.
Well, I'll say this: Penguin, it does beat the odds, and kind of was.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So I'll
Penguin was
give
definitely
HBO that. Yeah,
HBO, like they stuck the landing a good jillion times with that, and honestly, shout out to HBO again. Preacher Commandos, they kind of did it. James
Oh,
Gunn.
see, I haven't watched that, so I don't know.
So,
I'm not super interested in it, so I'll be honest. I
But-
haven't
Oh
watched
man,
it.
it is. It
but they
Mike,
stuck
you
the
are
landing
missing out.
a million times.
Yeah.
So
They-
I just want to say that in the to answer the question, those two shows, but this, they have been always sticking the landing for me as somebody who, even though I couldn't play every game, but I love this lore. I love
Yeah.
these characters. Alucard is probably was one of my favorite Nintendo characters playing Castlevania 3.
The characters are treated with care, man.
Then to grow these characters, to show, hey, it ain't just a simple just race swap for fun. Like, we're gonna make Annette a living, breathing character, and she's gonna be an inspiration to Richter, Richter is probably, I'm gonna say honestly, he might be the most like Belmont. He might, other than me, we all grew up with Simon and Trevor. Trevor was just kind of there. Realistically, they made Trevor to redo Castlevania 1 because Castlevania 2 was so bizarre.
I'm a Simon guy. I don't.
But Simon really kind of only was there for one game, and then they redid it. But see, that's where if you old school and you didn't really play past 3, maybe it's Castlevania 4, Simon came twice. But that's kind of the end of Simon. We grew up with Simon because of the NES. Trevor was that gap there, but he had a good story with his. There's like Trevor was the piece like, oh, I got married, make kids, blah, 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 yada, yada. And then we're going to grow with it. So they was like, all right, let's keep writing. Then Richter was in the 16-bit era and into the 32-bit era, like that guy. He was like that for like Mark for the 8-bit era. Richter is kind of the face of Castlevania. other than Alucard.
Okay.
So these two are like very, very important.
Cause
Like
see, I
even
always
more
thought the
so than
games were
Simon.
cool, but my mom was not buying me no Castlevania when I was younger. My
Yeah,
mom was
like
not. She was like, "What?" She looked at that box. She said, "What?
so
You gonna get Sonic? All right, well,
this
you
is
gonna get some
what
Sonic and some Mario."
kind of goes into where there's no way to predict where they go because last time they jumped from Trevor and then they rolled it up, which I kind of figured Trevor's story was done. But there's so much with Richter. You can I almost want to say they're gonna age jump again because Alucard remains. And they
Yeah.
probably, since they mentioned Japan, they could go ahead and go into the future. I hope they don't go way into the future to the Japan part. I would like them to still do the true one. Want them to touch Symphony of Night, where it is truly Alucard's story, where he has to kind of say, well, Rondo. They probably can mix in Rondo and Blood and Symphony of the Night to make it just one thing. Because if that happens, basically, Rondo Richter is cursed. He's kind of going crazy by this evil dark priest, and then by the priest called Shaft, and basically Alucard got to set everything right, and that's kind of like where Alucard became this big character in the lore and the games. The Symphony of Night, of course,
Okay.
was where you get the term Metroidvania. Like it other than Metroid, that is the game. So I still believe there's enough meat for them to stick around.
Oh
with
yeah,
these two
'cause
characters.
whenever you're talking about having either a lead or kind of a semi-lead character that lives forever, you could go do your period piece at any point in time because he's always there. I mean,
I
there's
understand.
300 years alone between Castlevania and Nocturne, so there's like they could go that because he said he was in Japan while Juice was 14 or so, so you could do
Yeah.
that. You could go forward again. They could stay here technically and deal with what Richter is doing with Annette, but it seems
Well,
there
that's
seems
just
to
it.
be a
That's the next.
finality with this season. But I
But
could
that's
be wrong.
kind of the story with Rondo the Blood. That's when it gets to those Rondo Blood Symphony. Annette is his fiance, so it kind of it seems like all right.
So they might
they're
roll
together.
into that.
Where in Annette, whether she gets kidnapped, I doubt they do exactly the lore of the story. But it is called Castlevania. There's always somebody crazy enough to bring back Dracula. So
But
it's
see,
kind of.
technically, Dracula's still alive.
I mean, he never.
I mean, at the end of the main series, he stepped back through the door. Him and his wife were alive, but they didn't want to tell Alucard because they didn't, I guess, want to mess up his life or something. I was like, okay.
I thought they died and then they was trying to bring him in the body, and then they had to kill Death. I thought they just stayed over there. You know where? I thought they didn't come back.
At the end of the series, they're pulled through the door, through the gate or whatever, and even his wife brings up going to Alucard, and Dracula's like, nah, let him live his life, kind of thing. So I guess he's still around.
Even if he dies,
I mean, someone in the comments let me know if I'm tripping, but that's
he can
what I
always
remember.
be brought back. That he's Dracula. If they want to go this route with the games and stuff, there's always some madman.
Man, all you gotta do is find some of his blood somewhere.
Like, and this is a nice Dracula.
Some ritual with some vampire or some descendant of
he
Vlad
lives so
Impaler,
long.
and
He loses his mind at times. You know, he lives too long. He's always, and he's never gonna like humans. And if he just like, all right, I'm back to killing y'all, and then it's just hell on earth again. So I don't know. I don't know if they go to those, but I would like if they did anything, I would love to see a movie. I know it don't even have to go in the theaters, but if you gave us just 2 solid hours of Symphony of the Night and let Alucard go wild and be the gothic hero that he is, I would love it. But he does that anyway. But that's what I would like. But I ain't mad at whatever they choose to do. But
yeah, they've shown now with this second series that they got it. They good.
Because even when we get past Alucard, they could go into some weird characters that gotta like take up the mantle. There's even a period where there are no Belmonts, and that's when things get really rough. Like there's the Quincy Morris era, there's the John Morris era, and those are the characters that was placed on the hero that was in Bram Stoker's Dracula. So they kind of took the mantle within this lore and how they wrote it. So you got plenty of places to go. You know, the Morrises they're just not as cold as the Belmonts. Like, it's a smidgen over their head, but they get the job done.
And so so yeah, you know what? I'm gonna agree. I think we could easily follow with what you said. We could easily follow, Richter and Annette on through to, I guess, America, because America is huge. If they're just talking about the New World, that's at that time, that's just the continent in general. So if you talk about from Canada all the way down to South America, that's a lot of space. That's a lot of ground to cover. You can do whatever story you want, essentially. And
some American clan vampires.
I think they won't, though. I think they're gonna kind of touch upon the lore and then write for that. What I don't want right away is Castlevania Area of Sorrow, because they're in like 2035 AD. I ain't ready for that yet. That's the one in Japan where they looking like, K-pop stars, and they just like looking too cool. They're looking like, our homie from Solo Leveling with the overcoats and stuff.
Oh, snap.
Like, yeah, like I ain't ready for that. I need them to stay kind of within the gothic realm.
So you don't want them to go in the future? You don't want to?
Not yet. If they, look, I say let it keep. Look, Netflix keep doing this. Keep getting Powerhouse to do it. Powerhouse keep doing it. Netflix keep the relationship going.
Yeah,
give me
y'all got this.
3 more series of this, or seasons, or however you want to put it. At least look. You make it, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, because it clearly they know what they're doing with this genre and with this material. So I'm like, look, hey, keep the getting is good, so keep going.
Yeah, the fights were great. Look, bro, I know I joke about Dragon Ball, but I see them. He went little Super Saiyan, like Richter with a little Super Saiyan. I was like,
man, look.
He started punching, he started doing the in midair punching.
It was so good. I called my wife in the room. I was like, baby, watch this. I was like, baby, watch this.
Excuse me.
I was like, look how crazy this is.
Come and enjoy this with me.
I was like, this is too dope. Look at how the man used the whip, swung around the woman's own leg, hit her. Then the dragon come in, bust you in the head with the tail. Like, come on, man. This is
shout out
top quality.
To Miss Lisa, and also shout out to my wife. She watched 4 or 5 episodes with me. She'll be like, I don't care about it, but she get up and walk away.
Ladies make hip hop better, bro.
Hey man, if I can get her to watch one of these shows and not be completely disgusted and yada yada yada, and kind of 1% interest, win. It was more than 1%, but she didn't have to.
Yeah, because see, what'll happen when these shows are well written, what happens is my wife can get involved with like the political angles and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Like, so
what's going on? Why are they doing? What are their motivations? Yada yada.
Because even when the first season, she was in the room when I was watching the first season, and even she was like, we don't trust the priest, right? I'm like, no, we don't. I was like, in the first episode, I was like, no, we don't.
He even remind me of somebody. I ain't even gonna say their name.
It was almost like I was Richter and she was like Annette, where we both looked at each other like, we don't trust the priest, right? Like,
shout out to Edouard, man. Get to go home, man.
Oh yeah, Edouard. Shouts out to him.
Shout out to him. Just the whole series of his singing. Like the singing was good. I ain't even go for it.
Look. Man, Edouard, we love you. You dope. You doing your thing. You saved Annette, and then you came over and technically saved the lives of the night creatures.
I love what he said. He was like, "Yo, what was that line he said? Sometimes
he said I sing because I'm free or whatever." And I was like,
he said, "When we all sing together and get free." I love this dude.
I was like, look, man, hey, come on now.
Right.
I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. That's all I'm saying.
We need to sing together and get free.
Man, look.
He didn't even say much. He just sung, said those lines, and got free. And he said, and she's like, you still gonna be accepted. You still beautiful. I know they done twisted you outside. They done beat you down. but you're still you. You're still who you are. We still love you. So I'm just saying, there's a message in there. Take it.
Yep.
Take the positivity of that. And also,
Yo,
just
man.
again, Hit the brother sing so good. I feel like I was at a opera, at a concert. If I had flowers, I would throw it at this man's feet.
Yeah, because
Like,
this dude,
like-
I'm like, yo, these songs are actually kind of dope. Like,
this-
I'm not
Man,
mad
the
at these
Creole
songs at all.
song, the Creole. But I was like, what is? I gotta learn. I want to hear that song again. When he was singing in Creole, I was like, that kind of sound kind of like down here, bro. It kind of go into our culture. Just a smidge.
Yeah,
So-
when I heard him singing in the first season, I was like, word? Like, I was like, you know what? I'm not against this. And then in season 2, I'm like, you know what?
It fits.
I'm like, yo, my man be singing.
He singing French, English, Italian, Creole.
And he uses his superpower, which is his voice, to provide support to our team. Because even in the depths, like he said, when I sing, it's light down here. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, Edouard,
His spirit would not break.
yo, man,
And he
that's what
lifts
it's all
other
about.
people's spirit. Like, bruh, this is how you do a show, y'all.
Yeah,
Like,
because Edouard
this
could
is how
have
you
easily
do a
been.
show.
He could have easily been like, he's dead, and that's it. And he'll be like, yo, he's dead. You know, he sacrificed himself to get everybody across the bridge.
They
You know,
ain't
he's
throw
dead.
away no black character.
Nope.
They made them important. They made them matter. They designed
black
them. They made them full.
Yep, black people that was good, black people that was bad, and they had like real full lives and motivations and stuff.
And look, let me just go off on deep real quick before I know y'all wrap up. And like I'll give 1 point to the people for what's it called, One Punch Man season 3. They finally gonna correct that problem, which I was steering people away from season 2. I might try.
Yeah, I didn't watch
three
season
now.
2 because of your word. I was like, I ain't watching that.
They finally are going to fix the design. You weebs out there who try and take up for this blah blah. Look, y'all look. I don't really respond
There's
to you
always
people.
those weaves that want to be accepted, so they're willing to take any type of punishment available.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about the good, the clears, if you will.
Yeah, but
the
I'm talking
others
about because there was those other weaves that
It's
was
like,
still
yo,
like, no, it's okay. I'm like, no,
I'm
no.
I'm an otaku. You can call me a weeb, but I'm a black man first. All right.
Yeah.
So
Hey, just
regardless
don't
of which,
play with me, man.
yeah, don't play with me. We ain't stupid out here. And speaking
we
to
see
like
what you doing.
the young brothers, the young sisters, you ain't gotta accept this. You ain't got to support it. You speak with your dollars. You speak with your money. You speak with your ratings. You speak with your influence as much as you can. You ain't gotta be like play everything for a joke or whatever. Have them people playing in your face. That ain't gonna be done on Blurtish. On Blurtish
Nope.
time, I guarantee you.
Nah,
Mark,
we don't do
Look,
that.
Mark, this is nice, Mark. You ain't seen him when he changes like one of them night creatures, like it's American Werewolf in London.
Oh,
But I don't sing nearly as pretty, but I sing just as much, which is terrible.
all right. That's a
Can you
perfect
imagine
segue.
somebody whooping your ass and they sing it like that?
All right. So I'll throw it over to Dub. Dub, final thoughts, and where can they find you?
You know what, man? I was duly impressed with the first season of Nocturne. I was a little afraid this season wasn't going to be that good because I thought it might have some sophomore fall off. Nope. Nah, man. It was. Was it better than the first season?
Bro, it's just as good. Just a continuation.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, bro.
Kept it going.
Like really. The new things that we learn about the characters this season, it really improves the characters. I love it. So
Bro,
2 thumbs up.
Man.
Powerhouse, y'all did it. Bravissimo, whatever hand clap.
Yeah.
Get to you. Y'all did
Man,
it.
y'all are awesome. Thank you so much.
I'm going
I
to
feel like I want
to
to
you
run
with
down
my
a line
clam
of all their
chowder.
employees and just give them a high five, all of them.
Bro, I want to throw flowers at their feet. I want to dress like Prince from the Revolution and bow and gracie to them and beg for more.
I would pay Puerto Rican dollars.
You mean
I'm
American
pretty
dollars?
sure American dollars. Yeah.
Oh wow.
to see that, Coop.
Look,
Oh man.
I ain't gonna put no eyeshadow on. I ain't that pretty. I'm just saying.
Bow,
I might
bow,
get a wig. I
bow.
might get a wig. I might get a George Washington wig. I can
Anyway.
flip it backwards with the tail
I
and
will
Oh,
pay. I will pay for it.
and just start
oh
bouncing
man.
with the tail, with the rat
Nah.
tail in the front.
Yeah. Anyway, Dub, where can they find you?
I'm Mark Dub on IG still. I'm Mark Dub 44x Twitter. I'm coming to Blue Sky. I promise. I'm coming. It took me a while, but I'm a man of my word. I should be there. And I'm Mark Wallace in these streets. I'm be performing some stand up soon for y'all.
Nice,
So I
nice.
let y'all know when.
All right, that's what's up, man. Yo, you got the poetry, the raps, the comedy. Yo, man, y'all better
I wear a
wake
lot
up,
of hats.
recognize.
Multimedia mogul,
Yep.
sunshine pumping ink.
Hey, hey.
Well, you know.
This
But all right, Coop. What's
Yo.
up? Final thoughts, man. Where can they
Final
find
thoughts. Excellent, man. This is like, you know, we mess with Mike a lot, and we was like, when we go over the season preview, I almost want to say, you ain't got to even mention Castlevania. This is special. This is set apart.
you? Yeah, you
I don't
did
even
say
put
you were
this-
like you were like, of course we're gonna cover this.
This is going to be its own show. Did I not say that? We
Yeah.
always do. Like, yes, it's an anime to me, so weebs, I know. Everybody, y'all on y'all list who review anime, who I love, by the way. Like, shout out to Jeff. That's one of my favorite. Brother's Basement, man, that's one of the few people I consistently share because he does his work. I know a lot of people don't put this in anime seasons. It's anime to me, but it's so good, it don't need to be mixed in with the rest of y'all anyway. But this is just great.
Yeah.
Well writing. This is adult. Again, I do have to get a warning because shout out to our homie Mike T. Not necessarily for kids. It's actually one of the more. It's still bloody. It's not as sexy, if you will, as the others, but it's close enough.
Yeah,
Well, he
I
still
would.
had some butt cheeks, but yeah, get the end. So just be careful, you know, adults.
Yeah, this
Not
is definitely not
necessarily
for the
for your
kids.
your kids. That's between you, but you have been warned. So but you can find me at Keith Cooper on Facebook, blurred.ish on IG. That's the main the main social media, or Facebook, and of course the Blurdish Facebook page. I know Meta's tripping. I'm not leaving it. Every social media is probably trash eventually, but I am on Blue Sky. But I am on Blue Sky. You can find me blurred-ish. It's not hard. I should be the only blurdish on there. But you know, I'm building more of it.
If you ain't, whoever else is.
Well, I ain't gonna yell at nobody publicly no more. I did it on IG. IG just it's just so in your face when people was doing it. You know, I'm not looking for it, but if I find it, I'll let people know. I think, you know, just a little side note, I think because of the way the trend in blurredom has gone, I think most people who were stealing like that and gone on to steal something else. Cause they always steal. I ain't gonna say that with the name of that comic book writer who did that foolishness. You know, so some of y'all in the comic book industry need to get y'all friends. You know they thieves. This was a while ago and should tell on them. But y'all go on with that foolishness if y'all want. Y'all know who Blurdish been for a while. We've been doing this. It'll be 9 years coming up in June. So I just like to rep
just don't
that
get
any which
yourself
way.
Cat Williams.
I'm just saying, you know, I'm glad I'm an older gentleman now, and I have not met some people, and that's fine. But yeah, don't steal from people. How about that? But at the end of the day, that's where you find me. Sorry, it comes up. I'll try not to bring it up again, but I will never say that person's name because I ain't giving them no shine, no free advertisement for these.
Yeah.
But this is great. You know, like I said, go listen to other episodes on this anime season. Unfortunately, I wish this could be weeks long for this show, but at the same time, I'm glad to watch it all at once. That I'm glad. It sucks that it's just a weekend, but it's such a great weekend.
Because it's kind of like you get a quick, you know, quick movie or something like that.
It's like a movie, and I did it. I literally broke it up. Like I watched 4. It's like intermission. I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch these 4 last night, and I'm gonna watch these 4 today, and I'm gonna be fresh for the pod and the review. And It's just
Yeah, because
again,
I watched the season, then I started all the way from the beginning because it's like, I mean, shoot, you can do it with both seasons because it's
you can easily
even though
do
it's
it.
8 episodes, they're really like 20 minutes. And
Yeah,
honestly, with 20 minutes, they pace this stuff well.
bro,
But
this is just a
yeah,
well. This is how you do. When I like Mike, I know you think I cut people slack. Everybody can't do this. Every anime show can't do this. Every Western anime, this is special. This ain't the standard. This is the exception. This
yeah,
is
because honestly, they get stuff done in 20 minutes where it's like, yo, man, like y'all got 40 minutes. Why y'all ain't like, what are y'all doing?
bro. It just you talking about tight, taut
Yeah, and
storytelling,
they get everything
Story.
done that
yeah,
they need
Story
to get
on
done.
point, man.
like and
Story
has
on
a
point.
clear stopping point. Just like I said, we may never see Annette and Richter again. And honestly, as much as that would make me sad to never see Annette again, if that happens, I'm fine with it because they got their happy ending, just like Trevor
Yeah.
and Cypher got their happy ending, and
Mhm.
that parallels and that makes sense. The only person who remains to the very end is gonna be Alucard or Dracula, or unfortunately, whatever higher power.
Orlox.
Yeah,
Or rock.
whatever another crazy despot that comes out that we got to take care of.
And Mark, and I got to tell you this again. Orlox ain't this important in the game lore. They really did something special with Orlox.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Orlox is supposed to be kind of an afterthought. In fact, I don't even think he isn't even introduced until Symphony of the Night, and he was just like a mid-level boss.
Oh, okay.
So they really took Orlox.
So they know how to
and
take. They know how to take
Bruh.
stuff that it's like, you know
Hey,
what?
bruh.
In the video game, they
Top
didn't
tier
really.
writing, bro.
who is West-
they know how to take the name. To like take the name. The character was not a Native American. It wasn't even in America like that. So Orlox is like, all right, we got these names, blah blah, yada yada yada. In a way, he kind of like is a mid-level boss. Well, I ain't gonna say mid-level because he was a boss. Yeah, he was a little bit stronger than that, but Orlox was like a knight soldier type of person. It's like they took Orlox kind of was more like Miserak, but was like a supernatural knight from a glass thing. In fact, let me look it up real quick. Orlox from the game, and I'm gonna just keep talking so I won't have dead air. Castlevania game. Let's see. Game and see what he looked like. Oh shoot, bro. Sometimes typing and talking is not as easy, folks. Game.
Yo, man, it ain't easy out in these streets. But I will
Okay.
say I do appreciate the lore stuff that you bring though, because
So-
as someone who doesn't know this stuff is dope to see like the other side.
Orlox is a boss from Castlevania Symphony of the Night, like I said, that rules the upper part of Dracula's castle. He has two forms: a normal vampire with armor and a giant reptile-like humanoid who can spew balls. So he kind of was dragonish,
The dragon.
but he wasn't like that, and he was not. He was a pasty face, old-looking, bald-headed dude, dragon type of thing. He looked crazy, and then he even looked like a Jack the Ripper in another game. So he was not a man of color. He was a giant, big, crazy.
And he probably
boss.
didn't also look like he was above it all. Like there's a part where he's floating, and I'm like, yeah, he kind of
The
does look like
only
he's too good to
thing
walk. Like I'm
they-
too good to walk. Do you
only-
see my earring in my hair? I'm too good to
There's-
walk. Do you see these clothes?
Because I'm looking at what they said, Orlox artwork from Moonlight Rhapsody. The only thing they kind of kept of him is his purple kind of overcoat and his fancy ruffles. That's this character version. So that's the only they touched on the color scheme, but complete different design, complete different thing. So that's what they doing. What they writing, bro.
Yo, they
Excellent.
killing it.
10.
Yeah.
It's a 10. So that's what I got.
Word out, word
It's a
out.
10 in Cincinnati.
Anyway, y'all go out and
It's a
just
10 in Tennessee.
go to Blurdish and buy some books and buy some
Yes.
shirts and all
Buy
that
some
stuff.
books. Come see us. Oh, February 8th, be in Baton Rouge. Come see me at the Mid City Micron at the library on Main.
Oh yeah.
On Goodwood. Shout out to Alex Smith, one of the people I sell for. Cartoon Man is coming back. They will be featured guests and stuff. It's only one day this time, but it's like up to 50 vendors, and we're gonna have food trucks. So come check us out.
All right,
They're
that's what's up.
great.
That's what's up. I'll keep my final thoughts short and sweet. Final thoughts. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then when people say there are no good video game adaptations, I'll say one. You got Illumination with Super Mario Brothers. You also have this as well. So don't be saying there ain't none. You know what I'm saying? We got some solid stuff out here. Now, of course, it's animated, but we still got it. Now, I know I'm in the minority for the Halo TV show. I actually like it. I know I'm in the minority. I know I'm in the minority, but I do like it. And I know people be like, you're not a real fan. It's like, hey, I don't know. I don't know what a real fan is.
You might as well like it because you ain't gonna get no more of it.
But I like the show, so I enjoyed that. But those are three things that I say are solid. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy it a lot. So there is good representation for video games out there. Y'all just need to open your eyes up. Also, Sonic 3 is slamming. I ain't going front. Just saw it with my son yesterday. We'll do a little podcast on it. But yeah, Sonic 3.
Fun movie.
Bruh, look, yo, because I remember the first trailer they put out. Do y'all remember that? Man, look.
Talking about for Sonic 1 or for
for Sonic
trailer?
1.
Well, yeah, we don't want. I mean, it was so bad. They made it.
Talking about a glow up, boy.
They put the character as Ugly Sonic in the Chippendale Rescue Rangers movie. That was a parody of cartoon characters, and he was a character, and it was funny.
Yeah, so we got some solid stuff out here because Sonic 3 was dope, man. I give it to him, man. Look, gotta go fast, man. And so yeah, we got some dope stuff out here. So thank you to Netflix, all the crew, Powerhouse. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of smaller animated studios in the credits. Everybody that put even like one pixel of art into this or whatever. Look,
and man, anybody who said we're gonna make black characters beautiful and important. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. So with that said, NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. And until the next time. Oh yeah, Blue Sky too. But until the next time that you have to team up with a completely like crazy living legend stranger that your family knows about that you've never ever seen in your life to take down a vampire messiah, we're just saying peace.
Peace.
Jeez.